Hey class, so glad you're here today. For our social studies lesson today, we're going to go over the captivating continents. So why don't all of you join me on the rug? Let's get started. So first off, can anybody tell me what a continent is? Okay, good. All right, a continent is a large, solid area of land. Keep that in mind for this lesson. Now, does anybody know how many continents there are? Right, okay. Let's see. We're going to watch this short video that sings the continents to us, and let's see how many there are and what their names are.
Split up into continents, there are 7 in all. And if you get the gist, we're gonna make a list from biggest to small. They are Asia, Africa, North and South America, Antarctica, Europe, and finally Australia.
For the purpose of this video, I'm going to cut that short, but basically it goes through and lists each continent a few times, sings about it, and then it gives you some quick facts. So I'll watch the whole thing with the class, but for the video, we're going to cut it short. All right, class, I'm glad y'all liked that video, but we need to stop and we need to learn our vocab that we need to be aware of for the rest of this lesson. So our first vocabulary word is continent. Good. A large, solid area of land. All right, let's read the rest together. Country. Ready? An area of land that has its own government. Countries are inside of continents. All right, so there's a continent and then a country inside of the continent. They make up the continent. So for instance, North America is the continent we live in, the United States, but Canada is also another part of the North American continent. Good, the next one, hemisphere, read it. Half of the earth. Half of the earth is the definition of hemisphere. So there's, the world is split in half like this. So northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. Then we split the earth in half like this. Western hemisphere, eastern hemisphere. Good. All right, and finally, equator. Ready? Read. An imaginary line around the middle of the planet divides the planet into northern and southern hemispheres. So what did we just say hemisphere was? Splits it in half. The equator splits the earth in half, northern and southern hemispheres. It's an imaginary line. Good. All right. We're going to go through and I'm going to see how well you guys remember which continent is which out of the 7. Let's start with this red one. What is this one? Asia. Good. How about this yellow one? Africa. This green one up top. North America. Green one on the bottom. South America. How about this blue one at the bottom? Antarctica. Blue one up top. Europe. All right. And finally, this little gray one in the corner. Australia. Awesome job. All right. We're going to move on and learn about some people, or just, quickly visit some people in other continents. Does anybody know anything about the people or the culture in other continents? Okay. That's great. So let's get started. Now the pictures I listed do not represent everybody in that continent. Because think about us here in the North American continent. Even in the United States, we all don't look the same. So it's not the same for these continents either. These are just some images I found that kind of represent some of the people and some of their cultures. So here's the people of Asia, the people of Africa, the people of North America. You may recognize Kendall Jenner or Michael B. Jordan. People of South America, the people of Antarctica. Oh, notice no one lives in Antarctica. It is too cold and too dry. The people in this image are scientific researchers. They go there for a short period of time, study some things, and then they leave. So they could be all from a different continent or all from the same one. All right, these are some people from Europe. You may recognize Kate Middleton or even Prince William. And some people from Australia. All right, I want everybody to stand up, walk back to their group tables. We're going to do a fun little group activity together. So I need everybody to get out their social studies journals. With this activity, you're going to write down each question, and as a group, you're going to work together to figure out which continent answers each question. Each continent will only be used one time. You won't use Asia twice or Australia twice or anything like that. One for each. You need to work together and problem solve and discuss which ones you think make the most sense. We're going to take about 10 minutes to do that, and then we're going to come back together. You're going to tell me your answers, and we'll see which group got the most correct. All right, get started. Okay, now that I have all of your answers, let's see what the answer is to each of these questions. Which continent is the largest regarding size and population? Asia. Make sure you're writing the correct answers down if you missed any of these. Number 2, which continent does Lake Superior, the largest freshwater lake in the world, call home? North America. Which continent is completely encircled by the Southern Ocean? Antarctica, excuse me. Number 4, which continent does the Andes, the longest mountain range in the world, call home? South America. Number 5, which continent is referred to as the island continent because it is surrounded by water on all sides? Australia. Which continent does the Nile, the longest river in the world, call home? Africa. And finally, number 7, which continent is located completely north of the equator and is mainly in the Eastern Hemisphere? Notice our 2 vocabulary words. Europe. Awesome job, guys. You can go ahead and put your social studies journals away. And we're going to do some independent work now. We need to apply our knowledge. So I'm going to pass out this worksheet. Everyone needs to work on it by themselves using pencil. For the first half, you are going to match the numbers to the correct continent and then color those numbers based on the color key. So for instance, let's do Africa. Africa is number 4, good. So we're going to write 4 next to Africa and then color it in with our markers in yellow. Then on the bottom half, you're going to have to do a little bit of research. You'll get your Chromebooks. I put the link on the board, but I also did a favorite tab on your Chromebook. So all you have to do is click it and go there. You will look through this website to see if you can find the correct answers. They are all there. So I don't expect anybody just to throw random guesses out there. There's only 5 questions, so you will not use every single continent in your answers. All right, let's get started. So for this lesson, to work with the ELL students, I predominantly do that during group time, the small group time, by checking in with them periodically, just kind of seeing how well they're understanding this information and then trying to clear up anything. And then also with the independent work, some of the students, if they're very new English language learners, they may not understand like North America, like how to read that. So I may just have them do the color coordinating and already fill in those blanks. For the bottom half of it, I could provide answer choices for them to choose from or eliminate some of those questions. It would just depend on where the student is. I addressed diversity in this lesson and culture by providing pictures of the students to see people from different continents so they can see that everybody is not the same, but there are similarities between people from all around the world as well. I included literature in this lesson with the extension of the lesson. I did not talk about it in the PowerPoint, but in my lesson plan with the extension, students would pick a continent and then a country, find a few facts, and write about it, why they would want to visit that continent and country. I built on other subjects, writing, of course, with the extension, with students writing about their continent and country they would want to visit. Reading, they have to research, and they would have to read through the website to figure out the answers. Also, just reading the questions with the group activity. And then sort of math with the problem solving with each other, even though it's not directly a math problem. They have to use some of those problem solving skills to figure out how to work together and get to the answers that they would desire. I included differentiation into my lesson by walking around when I'm assessing the students during their independent work. Some students may need me to talk with them about it and then point and tell me or answer the questions verbally, and some may not. That's how I would differentiate the instructions. Um, Inquiry-based learning, that's the research. Students are researching the content at the bottom half of their worksheet, or then when we're doing the extension of the lesson, and then it's proficiency-based learning as well with the worksheet. Even though I'm not taking it for a grade, it's participation. Students need to do it. Students don't need to guess on it. So thank you for taking the time to watch my lesson, and I hope you enjoyed.